What's time with that? Attention, welcome everybody. Welcome to All Nations Wellbriety. My name is David. I'm in active recovery. We'd like to once again welcome everybody. Thank you for coming out. I would like to read at this time, read the purpose of our group. We gather this day in our sacred circle to share our recovery stories and to lend a helping hand to our brothers and sisters who come here to overcome alcoholism and drug addiction. There are thousands of us getting sober and growing each day in our spirituality. This group reaches out to the newcomer, man or woman, red or yellow, black or white. We believe the Creator has the power to help the hopeless alcoholic or addict get sober, stay sober, and make us into the human the Creator originally intended us to be. Well, one more time, but at this time, we have our speaker meeting once a month, and this brother of ours, nephew of ours, the deadliest uncle that we know is going to be speaking tonight. And I really feel blessed to know this guy. We both got sober about the same time last year, and then the Creator put our paths together back in December, and he's become one of my best friends since. It's my honor to introduce Mr. Dell Pedro. Aho! Get him up.
What's up, y'all? Yeah, my name's Lydell. Some people, you can call me Dell because I don't lie. But I'm very humbly thankful to be here. To be honest, I was just a regular with Tor. I mean, when I first heard about Tor, I was in treatment with George Hawkins, and we just came here every Thursday, and I can't remember who it was, but they was like, "Where are you going after George Hawkins?" And I was like, "El Reno." I was like, "Well, we got meetings there. Why don't you just come by?" And I've been here ever since, and I've been a regular here. And I guess they just asked me one day, "Would you like to?" I remember it was Barry. Barry asked me, "Would you like to do the speaker meeting?" And I ain't gonna lie. At first, I was like very unknown. I ain't gonna lie, I'm very nervous, so please work with me. When I chaired my first AA meeting, I was excited and thrilled for it, but whenever I got there, I was lost for words. But yeah, I get the hang of it. I guess where I would start, recovery is possible, of course. I mean, addiction doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are, how bad of a person you are. So I feel like recovery shouldn't either. And I'm very blessed to be here. And I'm very blessed to have the friends that I made through the process. We got Carmelo, Darian, Barry, David, Cassandra, Brittany. Who else am I missing? Oh, yeah. They've all been like really great people. And if you are seeking recovery, I am very confident that you could go to each one of these individuals and they'll help you out, because it really is a tough battle. In my opinion, addiction isn't a strong enough word for how it was. It was more of like slavery to my addiction. Like, the saying, do crackheads just don't get high and be like, "Man, I'm broke, I ain't gonna get high today"? No, they go out and find a way. That, what I mean? Like, they're a slave to it. And that's how it was, preferably alcohol. But it's really crazy. And I wanted to just say, if I'm not like loud enough, just let me know, because I suffer from CHS. You know, you don't know what that means. It means can't hear shit. And and well, first most, to be honest, I don't even know where I would start. Um, I guess whenever I first started working my, what is it, the 12 steps? Uh, when I first started working my recovery, everybody said, "Did you work the 12 steps?" I'm like, no. Like, you got to start working them. And I guess I could go through them and share my experience. If you are already working in your recovery and you're good at it, this is mainly stuff that you already know, that you already heard. But then again, it's also my experience and my story. All right. So first we got step one. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that we had lost control of our lives. I When I first seen that, I was like, my pride isn't too high. I'm good. No, I was a slave. It it was embarrassing to admit that I had an addiction, and being honest with myself, like, hey, because I tried quitting a couple times before then, and it was really hard. I only last like a couple weeks, maybe a month, before I started taking my recovery serious, and I didn't know what to do, how to handle situations, and they kept putting step one in my face, honesty. So I was like, all right, I'm an alcoholic. I'm a bad person. Yeah. So I started being honest with myself and identifying what my problems was and seeing how I could face them whenever I'm getting real with the matter in my hands. And we got step two. We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could help us regain control. Hope. Oh, when before I started doing my recovery, I really wasn't a religious person. A lot of people started saying pray. I would tell my sponsors all my life problems, what I've gone through, and like, well, pray about it. I'm like, all right, I'm not really a religious person. Like, how do I do that? Do I just pray? Like, God, help, amen. But then I started getting very traditional with it. I went to a Sundance in Wyoming, and I think that's like the very first time I started taking a belief that there is a power greater than me, and I couldn't handle my addiction by myself. Like, I literally let go and gave it up to him, and I really was sad, and I was really dependent on those prayers. It's a really dark moment when I think about it, like the bottom of the bottom. Ugh, sad. And I started praying more and more every day, when you wake up or whenever something is just bothering you, guilty on your conscience or soul. You just pray about it and hope for the best, do what you can. Because, in situations where you feel like you tried everything you can, but it's not enough, you still don't know what to do. You just got to do what you can. But yeah, step three, faith. We made a decision to ask for help from a higher power, others who understand. I ain't gonna lie, at first, asking for help and all of that really wasn't my strong point. I don't know if it was my pride, if I was too high, or, you know, to not only go to a creator, but, to a friend, someone that could depend on you, because, you can't really tell certain people certain stuff because later down the line, y'all might be in disagreements and that person's going to use it against you. So I was very like, I don't know, isolated. I guess. And I didn't really like the way it felt. So we got step 4, courage. We stopped and thought about our strengths and our weaknesses through and thoughts about ourselves. I didn't really think highly of myself when I first started my recovery. I was the worst person in my eyes. So what really helped me out through that point, I started thinking of what would what is my strength? What can help me stay sober? You know, at that point in time, I came to the realization you got to be watch who you're around with, and even if it's your family or loved ones, if they be drinking every day or going to bars, which I have family like that, I couldn't really be around them, so I tried to start making new friends. I don't really like that, but it was what's best for me. You know, Barry and David, they really helped me out a lot. I'm gonna be honest, I always go to them. I talk to them about everything. I remember David was said one time, like, "Man, you always come to me and talk. I'm about to start charging you for this." Yeah, but building courage was kind of like a confidence boost. Like I came to a firm believer that I got this. I could handle my addiction. All right, step 5, integrity. We admitted to the Creator or the Great Spirit, to ourselves, and to another person the things we thought we were wrong about ourselves. Okay, this was 2 parts of this was the easiest step for me. We admitted to the Great Spirit. Of course, I prayed to God about all my wrongdoings, and later down the line, if I thought of some more, I could pray to God. Then, to ourselves, I would wake up and look in the mirror and see what I think about myself, and, you know, break it down and see what I could do, because, holding all of that inside you isn't really healthy for you. And to another person, the thing we thought we were wrong about. I was very scared to just, talk to somebody, working my step 5. That ended up taking me the longest out of all the steps, because I don't really like talking to people like that. But I remember at George Hawkins, I had a counselor, and she said I could always work it with her. Shout out Angie. Um, yeah, she was like, "Well, I understand that you're uncomfortable with people, and I am a licensed therapist. It's actually illegal for me to tell anyone anything you tell me." So I was like, "All right." That was like the easiest step, but if you ever need help working that step, I heard plenty of times at AA, this one person said there's a loophole on step 5. It says, and to another person. It didn't matter how that person had to be. This one guy worked his 5th step to a infant baby, wasn't even 1 years old, or somebody. Yeah, or somebody would go find like a homeless person and give them like $20 or some beer and just sit down there and talk with them about everything, and that person wouldn't even know him. So I found more comfortable ways to work my step 5. Yeah. All right, step 6, willingness. We are ready, with the help of the Great Spirit, to change. Like I said, I really wasn't ready at first. So, it took me a major big step to even go to treatment, George Hawkins, and I think that's where my first step to willingness went. I mean, I was almost like a week or 2 sober when I went into George Hawkins, but me going into treatment was like the very first step to it, and I would say that's where it all started. And I couldn't drink even if I wanted to. I was in treatment, so that really helped out a lot. And I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I lost friends, family, and people that I even loved the most. It's kind of heartbroken. So there was a lot of motivation and fuel to my fire to, at that time I was ready to just keep drinking and keep going downhill, not caring what anyone thought about me. Because in the first place, I would be getting sober for these people, but if they didn't want to be there, then what's the point of quitting? So I had to think better and think more highly of myself, and find out willpower. I don't know how I did it or what. I just did it. Kind of hard to explain, but when I was there, when you really are truly are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you want change, you'll find that willpower. Um, Step 7, humility. We humbly ask a higher power and our friends to help us to change. I cried. I didn't like it, but yeah, I worked that one. I was sad. I was ready. Step 9, forgiveness. We made a list of people who were hurt by our drinking and want to make up for these hurts. That one was one of the scariest ones because I feel like I hurt a lot of people and made them, yeah, because, I don't know if y'all ever argued with a drunk person. They like to crawl under your skin, and it's not even funny. But I sat there for like weeks, and I told myself when I get out of George Hawkins, I'm going to work this one the most. Like, hit up everyone, like, hey, I'm very sorry for this and that. I'm asking for forgiveness. You don't have to forgive me, but I just want you to know that I'm different. I'm changed. I went through treatment. I'm I'm really sorry about that, and I hope that we can all lead to a better future. And the people that I did forget later down the road, if I remembered them, I would hit them up, like, hey, I'm doing better. Yeah, yeah. Can you forgive me? Step 10. We continue to think about our strengths and our weaknesses. And when we are wrong, we say so. Um, my strengths and weaknesses. I found out that I was really good at hating life. Like, I don't know what it is. I'd wake up, I would hate this and that. I would want more, want better and better. And my weaknesses, aunties. Uh, nothing. No, my weakness was whenever I would get a bottle and start drinking, I would be, it would be so easy to just forget everything, forget about the pain, the struggles, whatever I'm going through, my losses, my pain. And whenever I sobered up, it just all hit me. I would wake up hating life again, then, it'd be a good idea. Let's go get another bottle and just do it all over again, repeat the cycle. And so I had to think of a way to overcome that, and that wasn't easy at all either. Step 11, we pray and think about ourselves, praying only for the strength to do what is right. You know, when you wake up, you realize that, like, yeah, I'm living life and I'm really the only person there for me, and I got to keep going. And that makes me feel like I need to pray. Now I always try to pray, even the good days, because, I always did a lot of foxhole prayers. But it gave me the realization that even when you're all alone, whether it be no family, no home, jail in a jail cell, or just by your lonesome, you just really think that, like, man, all I could do is pray, and you realize that Creator, He really is the only one there for you. And I ain't gonna lie, I did a lot of foxhole prayers, and I kept my end of the bargain, and now I'm doing a whole lot better. I'm blessed. Thanks, Creator. Yeah. And now I ain't saying I'm perfect, but I still pray that I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for the community I'm in. I'm blessed that my health, that my head's above water. Yeah. Step 11. We pray and think about, step 12. We try to help others alcoholics and to practice these principles in everything we do. Okay, I never really was one to reach out to other people. I wouldn't even know how to do that. But since I am a firm believer that I am good in my recovery now, you know, like I was saying, be the hero that you needed, because a lot of loved ones try telling me, like, hey, this ain't the movement. Alcohol is bad for you, yada, yada. And I wouldn't listen to anything or anyone. I'm like, nah, I got this. So I am a firm believer that there is other people out there. And I was still trying to figure out if there's some way that you could get someone to listen and see. Maybe you could save them from losing their friends or family, loved ones, or their whole life, maybe job, house, car. And it really brings like a good feeling because I don't, I'm not getting paid for this. I just a lot of people out there, and I seen it with myself working and being right beside these people that there really is people out there facing addiction, and maybe they only got one shot, facing incarceration or bad health. Like me, I went to go get a physical before George Hawkins, and they said I was at the early stages of liver failure. And if I would have kept drinking and stuff, yada yada, it wouldn't have went well. If I didn't really try to achieve my recovery of my from addiction, I really think that would be so bad right now because I don't really like going to hospitals, get a checkup, and I don't know. I hear liver failure is pretty bad, and it's really scary, to be honest. I am happy that all of y'all came out here today, and this my story. I don't know where to start. Like it all started when I was born. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I would say the first time I ever got addicted to anything, I would say I was like maybe 15, 16. You know, I was at home after school. I asked my sister, like, hey, can I have some money to go to the store, get a bag of hot Cheetos? And she said, no, we got food in the fridge. And you know me, I didn't really want to hear that. So I waited until she went to work, and I started searching the whole house for quarters and coins, and I found a stash. And that's how it happened. Marijuana. I I ended up waiting with my best friend, and I ended up getting high with my best friend. I'll never forget the moment. Like, we went through the whole joint, and we was like, I don't feel it. I don't feel it either. And then we started walking to his mom's house because she was cooking, and I swear it hit us hard on like the halfway there. We was both feeling that feeling, like, you know, when you're walking somewhere, and but it seems like it's too far, but you already went too far to turn around. So you're just like, man, like, like it hit us hard. But long story short, we got addicted to it. So like every day that came our thing, you know. After school, we would find a way, try to hustle up something, you know, just hang out, play video games. I think it was really cool having a video game partner like that. You know, his name started with M, and my name's Lydell, so I starts with an L. So every time we play like Mario, I would be Luigi, he would be Mario. It was like a really cool friend. Man. And like shortly after that, you know, it's high school, and you start hearing about parties. We started ended up going to parties together. And I ain't gonna lie, he saved me a lot of times. And like I needed him, and there's times I saved him. I don't know if he would say he needed me, but I did save him a couple times. You know, one of us we had a little bit too much and be like, hey yo, it's time to go. Like right now, right now? Like, yeah, right now, right now. We just get up and go. If I didn't think if I didn't have that, some nights could have went worse. But I remember the first time I accidentally gave my friend alcohol poisoning by accident because I was like I said, I was one of the younger cats going to these parties, and like my ticket in was getting like the biggest bottle at the party. I remember me and him showed up at the party, and like all these people are like older, and so it's like who invited these little kids in here, and I'm like, oh no, it's cool, I brought this. It's like a giant bottle of Grey Goose, and be like, oh, you're okay, carry on. Yeah, that's how I did it. uh, but I remember that bottle was like too big for us to finish, and we ended up going to a party at Yellow Bridge, and there was a giant bonfire. And I was in a truck just like rolling a joint, and someone's like, "Hey, do you mind if I could chug this bottle?" I was like, "That's a lot." He's like, "Yeah, a lot of people saying I can't chug it, so I'm gonna chug it." And I was like, "All right, whatever. Just save me some." He's like, "Okay." So, anyways, I get done. I look out the truck, and all I hear is chug, 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 chug. And I look over, like, man, this guy's really killing it. Ooh, he finished it, threw the bottle, busted on the bridge, and I didn't see him at school for like 4, 5 days. And like whenever I seen him, I was like, "Hey man, where you been? I haven't seen you in a while." He's like, "Man, remember that night I chugged that bottle?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, I guess one night I came home. I just slammed the door open, was like, 'Mom, take me to the hospital.'" She came in tripping out, like, "What? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And he was like, "I'm drunk." And yeah, he got took to the hospital, and he had to be in there for like 3 days because of alcohol poisoning, and that really put a great bad feeling on me because I provided it, and I think that's like the first time that I ever experienced that you got to be smart with it, or you're going to have bad consequences. And then, speaking of that, I was given some very good advice from my friend's mother. That same friend, me and him came back from a party, and there's usually like 12, 13 kids running around the house. And well, the night before we came back to a party, and I guess they all knew we was drunk. And anyways, we slept it off. We woke up. The house is completely empty. And she's just sitting on the couch smoking a cigarette. She doesn't ever smoke cigarettes inside the house. I guess she was like really disappointed. And she just ended up giving us a talk, like, hey, I ain't got any money to be bailing y'all out of jail. I just going to tell y'all this once. I know I can't stop y'all what y'all's doing. So I just wanted to say, if you're going to be stupid, be smart about it. I think I should have listened. Yeah. And then that was like the whole start of my drinking. I'm hooked. And then so I ended up going through school. Life is great. Football, I was wide receiver. Basketball, homecoming king of kings. In track, I did the 2 mile. The girl I proposed to at prom said yes. I was living it. It's just. Oh, it was all right, but uh, I guess that lifestyle brought me to a huge turn in my life. I'm not proud of it. I still don't like talking about it to this day. I keep trying to press females with, money, drugs, alcohol, cars. I ended up doing something stupid. I barely remembered it. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I was trying to be like cool guy, gangster or something. I ended up robbing this dude, broke into his house. It's pretty stupid. I could have got shot. I got 2 safes, a gun, truck, and I ended up crashing the truck right by the police station. So that getaway wasn't technically possible. It really sucked. I was 18. I didn't even graduate high school yet. And that's what addiction gave me, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And, you know, I was in county for a while. Then whenever my court dates finally settled, they said I'll pull chain in 2 weeks. I was there for 9 months. 2 weeks, my ass. Then after I pulled chain, I was in DOC Lexington for about 2 months, but it felt like 2 years. I've met a lot of people from all over Oklahoma, and I did not like it. I don't even want to say the things that I witnessed. Like the stories you hear, they're true. I'm just glad it didn't happen to me. um, then I went to this place called Rid. I don't know if y'all know what Rid is. Yeah, I never lost so many fights in my life. Yeah. But yeah, it's like a military boot camp place for y'all that don't know. It's like a second chance for young adults, to have a second chance in life, but you got to complete the program. So all in all, every day I would wake up, get in line, make my bed, fold everything, military style, the boots, camo pants, go work out, then march. We did that for a really long time. I didn't really like it. So I was gone for about like 2 years, give or take. I went and wasn't even 18 years old. I remember for my 19th birthday, It was inside there. I was at DOC Lexington. I got my ass beat. Then I was told to not come back. I was like, okay. And I figured I would have learned my lesson there. Nah, I didn't. I mean, I did. I was pretty good for a while. After I got out, I ended up moving to Clinton for about 2 months. I was sober that whole time, spending time with my grandma. I'm thankful for that, but I couldn't find a job in Clinton. It was really hard. So I ended up moving to Tulsa. And I found a job in Tulsa within 2 weeks of being there. And I really loved it there. It was really good. I can't remember how long I was there, but it was really fun. A lot of opportunities you could do there. Then some violence ended up happening with my family involving a gun and stuff, yada, yada. So I had to move back with family, and my family was in El Reno. So I came to El Reno, and I've been here ever since. I think that my recovery then, it was about 3.5 years. Life was good. My dad went to college with someone who worked at Lucky Star. He was a manager. So I got a job out there. I was working maintenance at Lucky Star. Then I ended up becoming a maintenance supervisor after a while. And I thought, yeah, life's great. I'm finally on my feet. I'm doing good. I have a job. I'm not Elon Musk, but I'm good. Yeah. After I got out, I always told myself, I ain't gonna do anything stupid. No dirty money. No robbing. Nothing stupid. I'm gonna live right, get a job, get a wife, start a family and stuff. Like I was like trying to have my head on straight so much. And yeah, it went really good. Um, for a while. I ended up I guess messing up. I lost my relationship, and I think that's what really broke me. I really don't want to blame her for my drinking addiction because that sounds like I'm playing a blame game, and I don't want to do that. I just want to blame that I wasn't weak, or I want to blame that I wasn't strong enough to go through that sober. So 3.5 years just down the drain, and I'm just drinking away every day my pain and misery. I wasn't working. Wait, yeah, I was working that time. That's how I messed up at Lucky Star. I came in drunk one day. I quit before they could fire me so I could still have a good record with them, but I don't know if that worked out. I'll never find out. So alcohol ruined that. I was going through manager training. My boss was planning on retiring. So there goes one job. That sucked. But I was still mourning for my loss because, I said I wanted to live right and stuff. Like, that's all I wanted. I knew I wasn't going to have dinner with the president. I wasn't going to be an astronaut. That's all I wanted. And my mom brings it up every now and then. I hate it. She would say stuff like, you wouldn't leave your room. You was always crying. I would hear you calling her on speaker and you'll be crying. Then when it goes to voicemail, you'll just cry louder. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. Yeah, so oh um, yeah, it really wasn't. Oh, it really wasn't the best time of my life, and I knew I wasn't going to quit, then that just, I guess I was just too weak. Looking back at it, I wish I found a way to overcome all of that and keep a steady head. Maybe I'll still have this, and that. Maybe I'll still be with this person. Maybe I'll still have my job. It really, it really trips me out that like a drink could be so bad for you, mind changer, just like the book said. And anyways, it doesn't get better. The scar isn't really there anymore, but I ended up slitting my wrist and stuff because I didn't want to be here, and I was just done. Somehow, some way, I still managed to pay rent. My mom was always jealous because that was all casino money. She was all like, "How can you be jobless and pay your bills off casino money? Like, what do you do?" Yeah, so I got lucky that way. um, then yeah, it didn't ever really stop. So I think I realize now I had a codependency problem, and that is not healthy for you. I don't care if you're successful with it and you always have someone there, you still got to get over that because that codependency is bad for you. Um, so I moved on. I I met this person on Facebook. Um, we worked this we yeah we worked the same hours, whatever. We lived less than a mile away from each other, and I was telling her I'm sad, yada yada, and she showed me this drink that I didn't know exists. It's called a smeared off screwdriver. Ugh. It was so I got addicted to that, and she she would have been so mad if I said she supported my drinking. She I don't know put up with it. Um, so we had fun. She always used to make fun of me. She called me a crier. She said, "You always cry and say you still love her. This is wrong, yada, yada." It's pretty cool. We could laugh about that now. She was like, "What made me stay? That was just a giant red flag." uh, but all in honesty, I could just see that that part of my life wasn't going good, especially with the addiction. I So I just, if I was to give advice, be able to see that because I was blind. I thought alcohol was the solution to my problems when it really wasn't. You know, I thought I could drink responsible, be all right. No, I was blind. I was tearing it, being rugged. Just a fat guy trying to get a strawberry nose. Yeah. Yeah. And I thought it was healing. So yeah, advice: be on the lookout for that if you're still in your addiction. And hold up, how much time we got? I got stories. Oh, all right, not that much time. All right, well, I'll just cut it short. I didn't really have to What? No, sad guy, strawberry nose. I was on a hunt for a job. Life goes on. And yeah, there's a whole lot of good I accomplished and a whole lot of bad I accomplished that I could add in there. Whoops. But I ain't really trying to add all that. We're almost out of time. Uh, my addiction took over me for like a couple years. It was really bad and embarrassing. I remember all the times I would wake up and I'll just be running, rushing to the toilet. Then I'd throw up. Like, I don't know what it was. I was working on my skills on not missing the toilet and I was getting really good. And it is scary because, I'd wake up like, whoa, I'm alive. I'm not in jail. Hell yeah, I'm getting good at this. It is dumb, stupid. Then I ended up getting, I guess, a DUI. That sucked. I think I passed out in the back of a cop car before I even got to the jail. Just, yeah. Then that was like the first time I was ever court ordered to go to AA. And I didn't want to because what is AA? I'm just going to talk to a whole lot of people, talk about my stories, my mess ups, no, my happy mistakes. Um, just admit, because I had to get a signature once a week for 12 weeks. I really didn't want to go. I remember the first day I called, it's Tatum. Yeah, Tatum answered. She was there. I think she was chairing the meeting. She was in control, taking charge. Good job on that. And that was my first day. And at first, I was really very quiet, head down. I didn't want to talk to anyone. Seen some people I knew. um, and I think that's where it all first started too. Because through those 12 weeks of getting my signatures, I was done. I didn't have to go back to AA, but eventually I ended up going to AA like every day if I could. Um, I think it took me about 3, 4 months of going to AA before I really started working into my recovery. Because, like I said, I would stop for like a couple weeks or a month, and then I finally get it down. Then I ain't gonna lie, there was a couple of times after AA, I would walk my happy self to the liquor store, and I think that's whenever my mother, she was like, "You got to go to this place." I'm like, "What's it called?" They're like, George Hawkins at the treatment center, 90-day program. I'm like, I don't need rehab. What is rehab gonna do for me? And I was supposed to be in the cycle bef- before the one that I actually went to, but I was iffy about it. I didn't want to fill out the paperwork or sign up for it. But my family kept constantly telling me yada yada, and my drinking wasn't getting any better. So yeah, willingness. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and that's how I went to George Hawkins. I really thought George Hawkins was going to suck. I didn't really like how they told me to be there at 11 a.m. Everyone else showed up around like 3, 4. I was like the only one there sitting there waiting, just anxious. Um, George Hawkins was like one of the best experiences I've had. Like it made me feel special, like I had purpose, like I mattered. And it helped me look for strategies to stay sober. And they explained that that is a place to overcome addiction and recovery. Well, they explained that if you ever like read the book, we're gonna be in a healing forest. You know, those 90 days, we're gonna be away from the toxicity, the streets, whatever, all the drinking and drug use. Um, we're gonna start praying every day. We're gonna start going to sweats, going to AA meetings, and we're going to YMCA, go work out. I think I lost about 30 pounds, a little bit more. Um, and they said that that was going to be our healing forest. But what we needed to handle was when we get out of George Hawkins, we're going to get out of our healing forest and go back to our home, the toxic forest, unhealthy forest. Yeah. And our what we were supposed to do is like dodge anything from that was gonna make us relapse. I ain't gonna lie. There was I I almost relapsed because whenever I got out of George Hawkins, my ex was all, see, this is what I'm saying. I have codependency. I went back running to one of my exes, and she's all saying, I can't imagine the future without you, yada yada. She hickeys me up, and she's just all like, I can't be here. I can't do this anymore. I got a boyfriend. I got to go back to him. I'm like, what? So she packed her things and left. And I was just, I had a pocket full of per cap money, and there was a store. I thought about it. No one would know. No one would know. But instead, I ended up going back to AA. And that's when I got a sponsor. His name is Steven. He's really great. Uh, Honestly, if that AA meeting didn't really go well, I think I would have relapsed. So I love the El Reno AA here. Did y'all know it's like the second oldest AA building in Oklahoma? It's crazy. And yes, Steven, he kept checking on me every day. In my sobriety, there was a lot of days where I was just alone, just going to work, sleep, pay bills. And Steven, he would be like the first dude at like 8 o'clock in the morning, sometimes before I even got up to get ready for work. He would call me like, "Hey man, how you doing today?" Well, that's good. I just want to let you know, keep on praying. God is good. Love you, brother. I'm like, ah, that means a lot. Thanks. Like every day, I didn't even ask him to. And so I started staying in the El Reno AA community because, you know, if I got it right there, I want to stay where I got it right at. I really like it. I met some great friends there too. And now I have in the El Reno AA community, I met a great friend, this couple. They're like really a couple and they do really well together. They like reach out. The name is Shane and Jeannie. I guess Shane remembered me before I went to George Hawkins. And then when I got out, I kept going to AA regularly. And he was like, "You're working this program and stuff, yada, yada. Would you like to help me out? I'm building this AA place in Watanga. And, you know, the more people, the better. Would you like to come? I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't really like Watanga, but, you know, friend asked. And when we got there, Shane was all like, hey, this one place is coming here. His name George Hawkins. I'm like, what? I just got out of there. They're like, that's cool. You know, you witnessed it. You know what they're going through. Maybe you have a little advice and words to say. And I was like, okay, I'll try. And it's been good ever since then. And then that's whenever I realized that like I'm taking this recovery thing better, and I've been praying hard and hard, and you know I'm not waking up throwing up at the toilet. My exes are tolerating me; they're doing all right, and you know the family. Um, my family wants to be around me again. You know I'm steady keeping a job. It's really cool. Um, life's just been great, and I can't take what is it? Take victory of it, whatever. Credit. Yeah, I can't take credit for it because you know, even I know I probably ain't that smart. I got to give it all up to God, Creator. Oh, and it's just been a wild ride, a wild experience, and this is my story. I'm 1 year and 5 days today. Yeah, I can no longer say, "Oh, last year I was fucked. I was met. I was drunk." Yeah, yeah. It's really good. And to be honest, all my sober friends I made, they're really, really better than my drunk friends that always wanted me to pay for all the bottle, pay for all the weed, all of that. And I'm just, you know, figuring out what's next, you know, because Creator has a purpose for me. I could have been dead or in prison, but I'm here. Um, I pray a lot. I've been working on my codependency. My therapist from George Hawkins, or counselor, said I shouldn't try dating for a whole year. Yeah. And I can see why now. I ain't gonna lie. But I ain't gonna lie, I tried dating two people. The mother of my child, that didn't go well. She said no. Should have figured that. And this one nice person, but yeah. And it's been really crazy. Codependency was probably one of my biggest emotional parts of my life that could tear me down. And so I'm really scared about that, you know, because I have so much to lose now. And I see the bigger picture. If I just keep focusing on working on myself, I won't be perfect, but I'll be better than what I was yesterday. And a lot of people, when they're talking about recovery and giving out advice, you know, they always say, do it for your family. Yeah, I can see why they say that every bit, but I would say that's similar to like a codependency because if that doesn't turn out the way you want it to go, it could lead to unfortunate events. And, you know, like this one time, I had a friend. This is when I was still drinking. We were coworkers for a year or so, and he trained me at that job. We was cool. He would just like call me and be like, "Hey, man, I don't know where to go. I'm homeless." Excuse me. My family always said they didn't want to hang around me or be around me because of my drinking or my addiction. And that really hurt me. So I decided to sober up, and I wanted to be around my family again. I want to be a family person. But even though I'm sobered up, my family still doesn't want to hang around me. And that really hurts me. Like, he started crying. And he was saying that, like, I'm a good person, but I drink. I would love to hang out right now, but I drink. And I was like, to be honest, man, you're right. I was about to say, let's go get a bottle. And he's like, thanks, but no thanks. Then we kept our peace, and he hung up. I think about 3, 4 months later, he overdosed on fentanyl. And I feel like that kind of codependency might have took part in that. So yeah, codependency. And other than that, I focus on positivity. Because I'm a very negative thinker. I like to overthink. So now I just try to keep it plain and simple. You know, like the speaker meeting, it's like, man, this is my first one. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Um, I just start overthinking, getting stressed, and plain and simple me, just like maybe I add a joke. I don't know. I think it's going well. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. And so staying positive is one of the great factors because, you know, I've came to the realization I'm not going to die anytime soon. I'm not going to give up, but that doesn't mean I got to keep going while in a negative down attitude. I just got to keep pushing it with a positive smile. And now I'm around a bunch of positive people, my healing force. And things are good. You know, basically, the way someone kind of explained it to me, life is like beadwork. It takes time. If you do one things at a time in life, just like how you do beadwork one bead at a time, it may take a while. You got to have patience. And at the end of it, after all that hard work and patience, you get something beautiful out of it. And that's how life is. Man, whenever that person said that to me, I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. Like, I just found the answer to all my problems. Then, I tried helping somebody out. I tried explaining it the same way it was explained to me. I don't know, maybe if I said it wrong, but they just looked at me all funny. It's like, beadwork is for girls. I'm like, all right. I'll try. But I hope he still got the picture. um, I'm very blessed in life. I couldn't be here without George Hawkins or my friends because the world is really a cold, lonely place. And if you're not smart, and if you're not keeping it pushing, it could be bad for you. You you could be a good person, and you could be around a bunch of bad people, and something bad will happen to you. And we're all Native Americans, basically. The way I was always told, we're like almost going extinct. I say we should finish strong, go out with a bang, be some badass natives. And I think that's time. I really appreciate all y'all coming out.
Oh, well, thank you again. Thank you guys for coming out. Broken Hearts King on next year. Tuesday, we have a talking circle in Clinton as well. We also have a AA meeting in Watonga. Thursday, we have a talking circle here, same building at 6:30. 6:30 to 7. And then we also have a 12-step meeting here on Friday nights. Last Thursday, Mr. Dell came up here to the meeting and tried to take his 1-year chip. But I don't know if you guys know about in recovery, we don't give out on fronts. So his 1 year wasn't until Saturday. So it's my honor today to present Mr. Dell with his 1-year chip. May not be no medical professional, but I think you can snag now. All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming. Shout out to Messaging Tribe and everybody online. We love you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Oh.
Hey, 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 hey.